Hello, 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 everyone. Hello. Come on in, come on in. I am super duper excited to be with you on tonight. It is tea time with Tracy, and you most certainly are welcome to come on in. Grab your cup of joe, grab your tea. Let everyone know that Tea Time with Tracy is on, and you are in for a treat. So please make sure you share on your page. Let everyone know that Tea Time with Tracy is on, and we are going to be in with a wonderful topic on tonight. But I need you all to let everyone know that Tea Time with Tracy is here. And we are live, and we need you to come on in. So come on in, everyone. Come on in. It is tea time with Tracy. It's tea time with Tracy. Tea time with Tracy. Come on in, come on in. Come on in, come on in. It's tea time with Tracy. Tea time with Tracy. Come on in, come on in. Come on in, come on in. Tea time with Tracy. Tea time with Tracy. Come on in, come on in. Come on in, come on in. It's tea time with Tracy. Tea time with Tracy. Come on in, come on in. Come on in, come on in. Hello, hello, hello. I'm so glad you're here with me on tonight. I'm so excited to have you with me, Tea Time with Tracy. As I always tell you, grab your tea, grab your cup of joe, and come on in, come on in. Grab your favorite beverage. We're in for a wonderful time on tonight. Good to see you, Vivian. Good to see you. Please make sure you comment. Let everyone know that Tea Time with Tracy is on, and we are excited about tonight. We are about to have ourselves a good time on tonight. We have a great topic that is coming forward, and I think that we all is going to be a blessing to each and every one of you. As I always say, we are helpers of one another. So come on in, come on in, come on in, and let everyone know that we're here. As I always tell you all, as you all know, you're able to get your copy of my book, An Unbreakable Bond, The Ultimate Mother and Daughter Relationship. If you hadn't gotten your copy, please get a copy. It will sure be a blessing to you, you, and you. Also, make it a gift to someone. Give it a gift. If you got your copy, get another copy. Help someone out and be a blessing to them. But please share on your pages. Let everyone know that Tea Time with Tracy is on, and we need you all to tune in. As you all know, the hot topic on tonight, we're going to be talking about um, the power of the ATM. Yes, the power of the ATM and the survival of families. I'm going to put it up for you just so you can see what this is all about. I think you're going to be really blessed by this. I was in conversation with one of my administrators, and we were talking about this very thing. And so I thought that, well, you know what? Let's make this a topic on tonight. And I hope that you all can get with me on it and find it to be a blessing to you. And we're gonna take it where it needs to go. And I think you're gonna really enjoy this one. So please let everyone know that I'm on. I need you all to share on your pages, and please let it be known. Let me know that you're here. Let me know that you're here. So this is the topic. Let me show it to you all, okay? The hot topic is the power of the ATM and the survival of families when it's out, I should have said out of service. Not out or service, but out of service, okay? But also, before I do that, what I always say to you, let me put this up. I want you all to know what our declaration is for Tea Time with Tracy for the year 2021. Our declaration is that the year 2021 is going to be healthy relationships, loaded bank accounts, and a comfortable life for all viewers and participants. But I need you all to come in. I've been away from Tea Time with Tracey for a minute, so the viewers may be a little low, but listen, come on in. Let everyone know that I am here and we're ready to do this. I need my regulars to come on in. I'm here. I'm here. Let's do this. Let's do this. I need you all to come in. So all of you that are coming by and passing through, please share on your page. Let everyone know that Tea Time with Tracey is here and we're going strong. Let them know on YouTube. I need your responses. Come on, let's do this. Let's do this. This is going to be a great topic. And I need the brethren, I need the brothers on as well on tonight. So come on in. What I'm doing right now, I'm trying to share. I know I've already been 15 minutes. I just came on. I'm a little late getting on. But I need all of your help. I need you all to get the people to come on. So please share on your pages and let everyone know Tea Time with Tracey is here. Yes, I am here. I'm alive. I'm going strong. And we're going to have a great time on tonight. But I need all of your assistance. I need all of your participation. Good. Yay. Yes, I am here. There go my fans. Yes. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Yes, 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 yes. Good to see you, Cola. Yay. See, you're on one of the first ones on. Oh, my goodness, you and Vivian. Please, please share on your pages. I need my people to come in. I need to see you all come on in. Share on your pages. My staff is a little low on today, but I need your assistance. So come on in. Yes, reach out to everyone and let them know that we are on and we are ready to do this. Yes, come on in. I know I've been away, but I need y'all to come in today. Yes, I do. I need to see you all. I need your comments. I need you to come on in. Yes. So we're going to just go ahead on into the topic. Holy, you're there. So let us talk then, okay? We're going to talk and get this thing going. Hopefully everyone will jump on in as they see us going through. So let me just take it to where I want to begin. So, okay, so on tonight, I need to see you all, though. Where are your comments? Oh, okay, Facebook is on. Okay, you're there. Okay, good to see you there. Okay, let me do this other thing here. Okay, so let me just repeat. Tea Time with Tracey is where we come together to encourage and to admire and to assist each other. That is the purpose of Tea Time with Tracey. It came about from my book, An Unbreakable Bond, The Ultimate Mother and Daughter Relationship. If you had not received your copy, please do get your copy on today. You will be glad that you did. You can always get your copy because you see it below there. It is my website. You can get your copy through www.traceyhines.com. You're able to get your copy there. But I need you all to come on in and let's have this discussion. So what I want to talk to you all about is the topic is the power of the ATM and the survival of families when it's out of service. I wrote out or service, but I mean out of service. And what this is about wherein the power of, we have to always be training. Mothers, you should always be training your children. Fathers, you should always be training as a man. That's what ATM is. Always training mothers, always training men, always training. Our children get their best information from us. We are their trainers. And we have to understand, just like the banking system of an ATM, the ATM is, you get withdrawals and you also can make deposits. We have to understand that we look for things from our children, but we can't expect to get from them what we never put in them. Correct? So it's important that we understand that the results of what we're seeing from our children most of the time is because of what we put in or the lack thereof. And so, what I want to talk to you on tonight is that just like we have bank accounts when it come down to finances, do you know there is such a thing as an EBA, an emotional bank account? Yes. And these are the things that we are seeing with our children, the deficiency in the EBA. Just like the ATM. If it's out of service, the funds are low, you feel the weight. The family have hardships. You can't product, you can't perform, you can't provide for your family financially if you have not done the necessary in terms of depositing the finances or managing your funds. Well, this is the same thing when it comes down to being the emotional bank account of our children. And we're all about building bonds and creating unbreakable bonds and having those bonds with our children, whereby we can we want to be able to um, build these relationships. We want to make it so it's unbreakable. We want to make it so, but we have to understand that in building these bonds, our children, they have needs. They have needs, and we have to make sure that we are meeting their needs. And sometimes we can get so busy going about life and just so busy in all that we do that we don't realize that there's a deficiency and that there's a need. And so, what we want to do is we want to talk about those things. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about building, pouring back into depositing into our children. Oh, the viewing numbers are getting low. Don't go low. Come on back. Come on back. I need you to come on back in. Come on in. How do we create these unbreakable bonds? We have to pour into one another. We have to be like the ATM. Okay, yes, a lot of times people go to the ATM and they take out, but you can also put in. You can't get from that machine if you're never putting anything into the account. And so the way to do this when it comes down to our children, there are rules. There's a rule of thumb that pertains to how we can make the greatest deposit in our children. Our children needs understanding. We as parents, one of the great rule of thumb in building a relationship and creating bonds is that we have to begin to understand our children, our little children, teenagers, and even our adult children. Everyone is looking for someone to understand them. And it's important that we do that. It's important that we respect and we consider one another. And so many times when it come down to, we say, people talk about toxicity of relationships, and we talk about, what our children aren't and what we want them, what they need to be. But there's things that we need to do. We need to be able to be that always training mother. Always training, meaning that always on alert, always preparing our children for what's ahead. Our first mindset should be, we need to let us think about tomorrow. Let's think about our future. Our children are our future. We can never undo anything that we have done. So all we can do is take our present day, move forward, and build, and take our children and help cultivate them and push them further in life. And one of the things is that we can give them finances, we can give them a roof over their head, we can feed them the best foods, the best meals, but we need to understand that emotional aspect need to be handled as well. Our children have an emotional need, and we want to know, why is it that our children are depressed so much, really depressed, and they have suicidal thoughts, and they are all on different, not just children, but on all these different levels, because there's something that they are needing. So if we as parents, be it mother and father, or just in general, we need to focus and hone in onto our children, and we have to listen to them. They are in need of that emotional breakthrough. Our children are on a path where they need to feel safe emotionally. We can make them safe when it comes down to, hey, the child is safe when it comes to the emotions. No, I mean knowing that they can be provided for. A child feels safe knowing that their parents have their financial needs. But do you know what you can do for your children when you supply them with the emotional, building up that emotional bank account? You know, we can build up their financial bank account, but if they got all the finances and they emotionally unstable, what do you think going to happen with us all that we've shown them how to build financially, but we lack in the emotional aspect? We have to understand that we need to make deposits in our children emotional bank accounts. This is not a cutesy topic. This is not a topic that a lot of people want to talk about. I may not get a lot of viewers on this here particular topic, but it's a necessary topic. We're in a different time, we're in a different place, and we have to address every and any aspect when it comes down to our family, our children, our livelihood, and our future. Our children are our future, from babies up until teenagers to adulthood. They are the future, and we have to always be in training, always be able to pour into them. The power of the ATM, meaning the power of an all training, always training mother, is a survival for the family. We must be mothers that are always training, always ready and prepared to pour into our children and build up that emotional bank account. Do you realize that our children's deficiency emotionally is because we forget that aspect? You see, we have no problem depositing into a bank money. We have no problem in depositing in the food bank areas. But what about the emotional aspect? And what I mean by that, there's things like such as understanding, attending to the little things, which are the big things, keeping your commitments to your children, clarifying your expectations, apologizing sincerely when you make a withdrawal on something where you're not building them. These things are important. Yes, we can talk about relationships, 101, all types of things. But this right here, listen, we are in April, getting ready to go into May 2021. And there's so much I'm watching social media, and I'm hearing different things, and I'm seeing different things, and I'm saying, wow, we need to tap into this. We need to, you all can write your comments if you want. I know you're trying to figure out what you're talking about. I am talking about the emotional bank accounts. And when I say the ATM, the power of the ATM, I'm talking about the power of the always training mother and the power of an always training father, and the survival of the family when it is out of service. You see, the families are having a hard time of surviving because a lot of times they're being met financially, but they're not being met emotionally. This pandemic has brought us to on so different many brought the families to so many different levels, and you're seeing it more and more, the effects of what this pandemic has done. And we don't even realize how important um, taking care of the emotional needs. People have been and confined in their homes, just taking care of one another, but not really taking care of the emotional aspects, and you can see the result of it. And so, what I'm saying to you all is that the importance of it, and you see, what happens is one of the things is that we've been together, but we haven't really been listening to one another. We have to listen to one another. We have to fill up that emotional bank account to survive. So you see, like I said, we talk about, come on, y'all can talk to me. The issue at hand is that when the emotional bank accounts aren't at its peak, you see a lot of, that's where the depression comes in at. That's where the issues, family frictions, and things come about, because this particular aspect have not been dealt with. And we know that we need to handle that emotion. I mean, because it's like, how is it that we in a home with one another, and yet you finding teenagers, you're right there, and they're committing suicide. Husbands killing family members right there. They've been there, and they're going on a rampage and killing the whole household. Where did that come from? Because people are not listening to one another. People are talking, but you're spacing out when you should be paying attention. Your family members are talking and you're pretending that you're listening. You should be showing that you are listening. Your family members are talking and you have selective listening. You must provide feedback so that they understand that you are taking heed to what they say. You do that word listening where you picking words from them. So then instead of you're supposed to you're supposed to be deferring from being judgmental, but you picking their words and you're judging them accordingly. You instead of listening, you're being self-centered with your listening instead of responding appropriately. I mean, this is, like I said, this is not a subject that many will want to hear. Like I said, I've been away from Tea Time with Tracey, but we're on a whole nother wave here. We're on a whole nother wave, and it's so important. Thank you. It's so important that we hone in on this. The power of the ATM and the survival of families when it is out of service. I'm speaking of the power of the always training mother. We have power, mothers, wives, husbands, fathers. We have power when it comes down to the survival of our family and the emotional needs. I'm talking about the emotional needs. You see, I mean, like I said, we have the bank accounts. Everything is a bank account, right? And everybody is looking at, when you say a bank account, people automatically think about money. But what about the emotional bank account? Everything requires a deposit and a withdrawal. We always say, you can't get out what you never put in. If you never put in the time with your family to understand, to see what the emotional needs are, you can be there, physically there, but emotionally disconnected. There's an imbalance. Something, you're going to see the fruit of that. It's so important. I think about this, why, and let me just bring up to you why I'm speaking about this. My daughter and I was talking today, and I was saying to her, we were talking about, I was just speaking into her life, and I was telling her what I believe her future would look like. I was pouring into her. I was speaking life to her future and to my grandchildren. I was decreeing and declaring. I was speaking life over them, and she was receiving it. And I said to her, I said, I think about when you were young. I said it was so important for you to be assertive, and it was so important for you to be sure of yourself. It was so important for you to understand that even in life, when things aren't going the way that you want them to go, to know and understand that you have the confidence to know that God is with you. I gave her a foundation. Her foundation was in God, number one. Number two, I taught her to begin her relationship, that she must have her own relationship. I can pray for her and I can pray with her. But her relationship with God is her relationship with God. And she has to train. I train her in God. She has to do the same thing with her children. And so I say this to, we have to remember when we look at our children are our first fruit. They are replicas of who we are or what we were. And listen to me, we make trial and we make error along the way. But at the end of the day, uh, one of the things is that we have to come clean and we have to adhere to our children and recognize um, um, our dealings with them and recognize our children for who they are and understand their feelings and their thought process. And we have to relate to them. It's so important. It's so important that we stop and try to understand our children. I was reading something, and the man says, it is better to understand than to be understood. And sometimes we as parents, we are so quick to we want to be understood instead of trying to understand our children. Our children are our future. We have a place. I believe that to everyone we have everything is a process, and we do things in increments. You're right, and so in our life there are steps that we take in this life. And we got to know that our children are to be 10 times better than us. I always say that. I say, I want you to be 10 times better than me. Someone else may say something else, but I would say, you should be 10 times better. I would love for you to be 10 times better. Take a good look at my life and pattern after me in terms of pattern after the things that I did right, and you do it 10 times better. The things that I did incorrectly, you hone in on and you keep it very present or in your eye gear, within your eye view, so you can see it right offhand. If you was to travel that route, you know how to deter from it because it's front and center. It's important that we share with our children who we are and from whence we've come. And it's important for our children to see who we have become and that we show them how we deal with them from our present state, not our past state. And anything that you learn as you go, then you pour that into them. So training is as you grow and as you learn and you grow, you pour that into your children. As you learn and you grow, you keep pouring into your children. So that's why I say we are always training mothers, always training men, always training our children. It's important that we take a look at the emotional aspect of our children. We want to know why so many broken people, when it comes down to not handling relationships, the difficulties in interacting with one another, the difficulties in functioning and moving forward, and all of these things, and keep having the same setbacks, is because something along the way, something was missing. We should have been pouring into them. And listen, I'm not going to say the should have, could have, and would have, but what I will say going forward, we must take heed to this. Is there anyone out there who wants to say anything? You are welcome to write any of your comments if you choose to. I always welcome your comments. That's one of the things that we do here with Tea Time with Tracy. Your comments are always welcome here. There's no big I's, little U's here. Everyone's opinion and thought matters. What you have to say is important, and we appreciate your comments here. This is what this is all about. This is how this from is not just one person, just me talking, but we interact with one another. This is what we keep, how we keep it going. But I just wanted to share with you all on tonight the importance of always training, always being available, always wanting to make sure that we are the type of people who have a listening ear, not just listening, but we have to be attentive to our families, to our family needs, financial needs, physical needs, as well as the emotional needs. Everything has to have its way. Good evening, Wanza. Good to see you. I'm a little low today in my viewers, but I'm here. I'm just talking about, for all you newcomers that are coming in, tonight's topic is the power of the ATM and the survival of families when it's out, when it's out of service. And what I was talking about when I mentioned the ATM, I'm speaking about always training mothers, always training men, always training fathers. We are always on the path where we need to be training our children. Always, no matter what age, we always should always be in that mode. And if we are not and we're out of service, it affects the survival of our families. It affects when we are out of service. Just like when the regular ATM is out of service, it affects your ability to provide for your family. That's the same thing with us. We're supposed to always be training mothers, always training men, fathers for our children. And when we are out of service with that, that's when we see the deficiency and the emotionalism when it comes down to our children. I was speaking about the emotional bank accounts. They have to be built up. Just like our financial bank accounts need to be built up. I'm just rehashing for those who are just coming in. So this may be a repeat to some, but it's just rehashing. Just like there are emotional bank accounts that need to be filled up and built up. When our emotional bank accounts are depleted and are at a low or out of service, we can see the effects of it in our families. I was speaking about the types of deposit that you need to put in your emotional bank accounts is deposits such as understanding, a deposit of attending to the little things, which are the big things when it comes down to our children. What's a little to us as the parent is a big thing to our children. And if we don't take heed to that, that become a deficiency in the emotional bank account concerning our children. And we must make sure that we are attentive to that aspect. We must keep our commitments to our children. We as adults, we want people to keep their commitments to us, while our children want us to keep our commitment to them. When we fall short with that commitment, that affects their emotionalism. So then you want to know why all of a sudden your child has mood swings and all of a sudden your child is not accepting, you're not trusting of you because you have dropped the ball when it came down to keeping your commitment. Don't say it if you're not going to do it. Don't give them a promise and pull it back. You don't do that with children. You are better not to say. You're better off to say, if you before you make a commitment to your child, if it's going to hurt you, you better keep it. It is better, as the Bible says, it's better to it is better if you make a vow. It's better that you keep it than to make it and not keep it. So that's the same thing with your children. It affects the emotional part of your child. Emotionalism, keeping your commitment. You have to clarify your expectations. Children need to know, what do you expect of me? And you show them, you tell them what your expectations are. Do you know how that affects them emotionally? That you have an expectation of them and they know not what it is. And then when you are disappointed because they're not fulfilling it, just that affects the emotional aspect of the child. And one of the greatest things of all is to apologize to your children with sincerity. We as parents, we as adults, we as mothers, we as fathers, we have the hardest of times apologizing to our children. And I think it's one of the worst things there is, and it does the greatest harm to our children when we don't know how to apologize, to say, I am sorry. You know what? Mommy shouldn't have said this, or mommy shouldn't have done that. And mommy was in this place, or explain to your children. Explain. I cannot emphasize that. No, one of the greatest things you could do is to explain to your children your state of mind, your place, your heart, how you were when you erred. Because to go through life and knowing that you have flawed when it come down to your children and don't address it, but expect them to give to you what you never put in. This is the deficiency, this part right here, the apology. And someone says, how many times I got to apologize to them? I can't undo. No, we can't undo yesterday. All we have is the present, and we move forward from this day forward. But what I'm saying is that if they keep bringing it up to you, you keep apologizing for it. Never dust it under the floor, and never make your children feel like that what they are feeling is an injustice. They are wrong for their feelings. Their feelings are their feelings, and they are entitled to them. We are not the judge of deciding on what our children should feel and shouldn't feel. We can only accept that that is how they feel about a matter. And then what we can do and say that, you know what, at the time, this is what it was, but this is what it is now. And I will always, every time you make, because if you try to sugarcoat what they felt or disregard, or you get into your feeling of, I'm tired of my children keep bringing this up. I'm way past it. It's been years. Listen, they can bring it up 50 million times. 50 million times they can bring it up. And your stand should always be to apologize. Your stand should always be to apologize. Apology can cover, you'd be surprised of the wounds that would be healed just from one apology. One apology can save the life of someone. One acknowledgement can save someone's life. Parents, mother, father, hear me clearly. Apologize to your children. And if they come to you 50 million times about the same thing until it resonates within them that they can receive it, you apologize each time. I tell you this because trust me when I tell you. Trust me when I tell you. The Bible says a soft answer, that apology is a soft answer. And every time when you give that soft answer, I'm sorry, when you say I'm sorry or I apologize, what can come after that? That shuts everything down. That's a stamp on it. There's nothing else I can say. Because I apologize. Now, they can say, well, I apologize. When you keep throwing that out, it's like every time it ignites, you're putting it out. Every time it ignites, you're putting it out. Every time it ignites, you're putting it out. And guess what? Before you realize it, before they even realize it, you have put that fire out so many times that before you even realize it, they coming around, they reaching out to you, y'all talking, and they don't even know when it happened. And you don't even know what happened. Because the one thing they noticed that every time I brought up that bad thing that mom did, every time I brought up that bad thing that dad did, they kept apologizing. They know that every time they bring it up, what they're going to get from you is an apology. What they're going to get from you is, I'm sorry. What they're going to get from you, forgive me. Honey, let me tell you, that will break a person down. The hardest of hearts, just like the Bible said, the woman that kept going to the judge, telling him to vindicate her. She needed vindication. And the judge says she kept coming to him. She kept coming, that he had no other choice but to adhere to what her request was, because she didn't give up. And so I say this to you, mothers and fathers, do not give up on your children. If you know you had a flawed life in raising them, or things are disarrayed, and you've fallen short when it come down to the emotional aspect of them, honey, apologize. Jump back in it. Like I tell you, I said, it's about building up this emotional bank account. We need our children to survive. They had the pandemic that tore them down. They had, we had this Black Lives, so much going on. But we have to do our part and build up that emotional bank account for our children so they can weather the cares and the storms of life. Yes, we foundate them in the Lord, but there's a need that they must get from their parents, and they need to feel and know and understand that my parent is understanding me. My parents is attending to the little things that concerns me. I am a priority. I am important. I matter. I am significant to my mother and my father. My feelings are important. My feelings are genuine. Children need to know that. And for crying out loud, we must keep our commitment to our children. These are parts of building an unbreakable bond. An unbreakable bond is doable. You can have it. You don't have to have a toxic relationship with your children. Listen, this even goes for marriages. Build up the emotional bank account when it comes down to your husband and your wives. Let you understand your wife when she brings stuff to you. Don't be that. Don't be that husband that space out when your wife is talking to you. When you should be paying attention to what she's saying. Don't be that wife that be pretending to listen to your husband when he's trying to share with you his thoughts. Show him that you're listening. Respond to him appropriately. Don't be self-centered. Respond to your husband appropriately. Let him know, hey, I'm with you on this. I hear you. I understand you. Don't be selective in your listening. Provide feedback. Don't just be a word listener, picking for a certain word so you can be judgmental. Don't do that. Let's build up the emotional bank accounts of our family, and let's get strong. Let's tap into them, because you got hurting people out there because they feel like no one is listening. They'll be like, you're not listening to me. You're not listening. You be like, I hear you. No, you don't. You're not listening. You're not listening. You're not listening. You're hearing what you want to hear. You're having selective listening. You pretend that you're listening. You're picking words, and you're being self-centered, and you're spacing out. No. The way you pour into them is that you show them understanding. When you're understanding your child, you're building up their emotional bank account. When you're attending to their little things that matters to them, you're building up their emotional bank account. When you're keeping their commitment, when you're keeping your commitment to them, and that even, like I said, that even relates to your spouses. These things are, like I said, the power of the ATM. That means we're always training, and we should always be trading one another, pouring into each other. Our survival of families depend on it. We have to always be training. We have to be receptive of one another. That's all I have for tonight. I'm just here letting you know that, we can't do this by ourselves. No man is an island. We are helpers of one another. And I believe that we are here to uh, to provide for one each other, to help each other make it. Okay, we can't do this by ourselves. We need each other. We need each other to survive. So I'm here. I'm sorry I've been away for a little while. So I know some of you don't even realize that I'm back on, but I need y'all to make sure you start sharing with your people and let them know that Tea Time with Tracey, she's still here. She's up and running. There's some things I'm getting ready to bring to you, but I guess I have to build you all back up and let you know we're back and running, and we're going forward, and we're still relevant. We're still significant, and I'm here called to this to be a help to you, and you. Remember, no man is an island. We are helpers of one another. We need each other. This is a God-ordained assignment. I believe God has called me to this. There are some people who are reaching out to me, and I want you all to know that I am here. I am here and I'm here for it. And we're going to take this where we need to go. And we're going to build up our families. We're going to have these unbreakable bonds, not only with our daughters, but also with our sons. We're going to have these unbreakable bonds in our relationships, in our marriages, our ministries, even when it comes down to our work ethics, our co-workers. We're going to make it. Like I always said, like I said, one of the things about, I had said about this, I said about this here year, 2021, I decree and I declare that this is the year that we will have healthy relationships. And yes, our bank accounts, all of them, will be loaded. Our financial bank accounts, our emotional bank accounts, everything that pertains to us is going to be in its full capacity. Even when it comes down to our health, we shall have optimum health and we shall have a comfortable life for all of our viewers and participants. I speak that for you and for me for this year. So I just thank you all for tuning in with Tea Time with Tracey. This has been a lovely night. It's a little different for me, but nonetheless, we're going to go forward in the name of the Lord. And I do want you all to know that I appreciate each and every one of you. And remember, make sure that we be the type of people who we are pouring into one another, and that we are not letting anyone be bankrupt, not bankrupt financially, not bankrupt in our spirit, not bankrupt emotionally or mentally. We have to think about this thing. I don't know, this is where I'm at today. I just feel an unction in that it's important that we build up the emotional aspect of our emotional bank account. It's important. We don't like to look at it because it's so easy. When you think about bank accounts, all we think about is the financial institute and how we put our money into these financial institutes, and we look for interest and we look for credit and we secured cards and all these things and money market and all these things. When it come down to the financial aspects and stocks and all these things that we put our money into it, and we're looking to reap a deposit. We would deposit and we look to get withdrawals from. But remember, the only way for you to get a withdrawal is that you have to deposit. And just like that is with the institution, the financial institution, so it is for the emotional institution. You have to deposit into your family. You have to deposit into your children in order to reap these things that we so expect to see in the latter aspect. You start young, and if you miss the young, you start at teenage. If you miss the you start right where you at, and you begin from that point, and you press from the present, and you go forward. And so that's all I have for you on tonight. I thank you for tuning in with Tea Time with Tracey. It's been a pleasure. I'm your host, Tracey Hines, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Do make sure you tune in with me on next week. On next Monday, I will be sure to make sure that I keep it going, and I will show up for you, even if I may not be able to show up for the whole period of time. But I'm going to make sure I continue to show up, because I don't want you to think that I do not think of you and you're not important to me. You are important to me. We are important to each other, and together we are better. And so, as it is, this is a Christian-based forum, and so I always say unto you, out of all the relationships that you can have in the world, there's no greater relationship than having a relationship with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. If there's any of the viewers out there, be it you come on the morning, noon, or night, wherever you are, or whatever place you find yourself in this world, I want you to stop right where you are. And as it says in the Bible in Romans 10:9, he says, all you have to do is confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that Jesus died and God rose him from the dead, you shall be saved. And so I say unto you, just take a moment of your time, and just say, Lord Jesus, come into my heart. I believe that you died for me and that God rose you. I am a sinner. I repent, but I know that you are the Lord of my life and that you are my Savior. You have came into the world to redeem me back to the Father, because the Bible says that for the God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whomsoever believeth him shall not perish but have everlasting life. and I believe in you, and I thank you for trading places with me. If you done that on tonight, you are saved. Just like that. And the heavens are rejoicing, and we here at Tea Time with Tracey are rejoicing with you. And I suggest that you find yourself a Bible-based church, and you're welcome to join in where I am, and that is Full Effect Churches. The general overseer is Bishop Archie L. McGinnis II, and our First Lady is Lady Dr. Cynthia McGinnis. You are welcome to join in with us. We're being taught in the Word, being built up in the Word, and all you have to do is go to our website, effect900.com. Thank you again for tuning in with Tea Time with Tracey. You're welcome to be a blessing if you choose to be. It is always a blessing that you, if you so choose to be a blessing to Tea Time with Tracey. As you can see, the Cash App is down below, and it's always appreciated. And so again, thank you again for joining in with Tea Time with Tracey. And remember, like I said, the power of the ATM and the survival of families when it's out of service. But remember, you can also find me on YouTube, and you can also make sure that you return back here on next Monday at 8 p.m. I will see you there. Thank you, and thank you for tuning in. God bless you. Appreciate you so much. And that will be it for tonight. So, until we meet again, have a good night. God bless you. And thank you for tuning in with Tea Time with Tracey. I am your host, Tracey Hines. God bless you. It's Tea Time with Tracey. Tea Time with Tracey.